Hello, welcome to my channel. This is Amanda with Crafting with Amanda, and today's layout is the companion page for the layout I did on Friday. It's another heritage page for my mom's album, which is getting delivered this week because we're headed to Florida. So I absolutely have fallen in love with the In Full Bloom paper kit, and when I started doing the heritage album for my mom, I had started with the old Miracle papers that had pale blue and green in it, and then of course this In Full Bloom has a little bit more vivid blue, and the olive green is not so pale, but it still all works together. And I'm kind of doing that by, I've created a thread to pull through all the pages, and that thread is either this charcoal cardstock scalloped lace border, or you will also see that I have some lacy leaves that every layout that's in this book will have one of those things. So here I'm just kind of gathering all of the supplies and leftovers from different projects that I've been working on. This part was from a layout that is also in the book on a different page. So again, just kind of keeping that same theme throughout the book, I just added this Cricut cut. And the avocado colored leaves came from the Sprigs and Sentiment stamp set and thin cut, but I was using them for cards that I made on Tuesday, so they're leftovers from that. I absolutely love being able to use leftovers. Now these 5-petal flowers, I'm kind of just using them as spacing. I like to make them 2 sections deep, but I'll need to cut some more of those out. So off camera, you can see on the left there, I cut more of those flowers out, and then I'm adhering this lace border to the matted photo, and I matted this in shortbread cardstock using the light colored side, not the actual shortbread color, but the lighter tone of it. So you can see that the back was darker there where I was gluing it on. So now I'm going to adhere these photos, and then it's just going to come together quickly because I'm just going to go ahead and sprinkle these embellishments that I did off camera. This was that lacy leaf that I was telling you about. There was 3 different ones, but this is one of the ones that I used throughout this album. While I had my die cutting machine out, I went ahead and cut some of the In Full Bloom scrapbook thin cut pieces out, and I stamped them with pewter ink. So now I'm just kind of rough coloring them with I started with shortbread, and then I'm going to use avocado for the leaves because again that's the color in the In Full Bloom papers, and then I'm going to grab the glacier ink and just add some color to these. They kind of remind me of poppy flowers. My peacock ink pad is still stored. I might actually end up having to order one, and then I'll have one of the new versions of it instead of the old version, and then it'll just travel with me. So I'm taking these flowers that I have colored, and I'm just kind of dry fitting them or auditioning them at different points around the layout. I'm really pleased with how quickly this layout is coming together. I don't really have a title for the 2 pages, so I don't know if I want to call it family or sister time. I don't know. If you have an idea, let me know. I think it's my mom and her sister with their grandfather. I'm not for sure, but that's what I think it is. And I realized that I forgot to cut the zip strip off the top of this page, so I'm going to do that now. And then there was a leaf that ends up underneath that I had wanted on the layout and forget about, but you'll see that I do end up adding that in later. And this is why I dry fit or audition, just to give me ideas of what might work, what won't work. Just, before you glue it down, it gives you a chance to rearrange it. I'm always surprised when you're working with compositions, whether it's cards or scrapbook layouts or paintings, how just moving one item a fraction of an inch can really change the whole feel of a page or a card or any artwork really. Now I love to shape my flowers, so I'm going ahead and using a dry embossing tool to shape the petals of these, and then I'll also ink them later, and you'll see that here. There are so many different ways that you can shape flowers and get different results. In fact, if you want more details on that, I will place a link for a series of 3 videos I did just called flower shaping. Because these 5-petal flowers, I could easily just kind of pinch in the center and do 3 layers of them, and they're going to actually look like a dahlia. So just some options for you on kind of stretching your supplies and using what you have to make multiple variations of things. And also it depends, like right now I'm working from the back. I'm embossing the back of the cardstock, and you can do it from the front side, and instead of the flowers kind of bending over backwards, they would cup up more. So again, that's another variation that you can do with the same thin cut. And of course, just changing the color is also going to give it a whole new look. So I'm just bending these petals more just to give them more interest and depth. And then I just put glue on 3 of these because there's 3 flowers total. So then you put the one without the glue dot on top, just kind of off space the petals, and voila, you have some beautiful flowers for your layout. And I forgot to do this on camera, and I didn't even realize it until after I'd taken some photos, but I did go back with the shimmer brush and charcoal, and I dotted in some centers of the flowers that I just created. But like I said, those are not on screen, so I apologize. We're headed to Florida for house hunting this week, so I'm trying to get these videos done, and I was supposed to have them done last week, but I was kind of taken out by a vaccination I had to have, and I lost more than half the week from that, so just playing catch up here. So I have all these little tiny sequins that I had separated out from the silver sequins bundle, and so I'm just dotting them around the page. And it's funny, on camera you don't really see it, but in person, just these little touches really add a lot. And if I knew where my silver thread was, I would totally be making a silver thread bundle to kind of push in under some of these flower clusters. But alas, it's probably, holding hands and hanging out and partying with the vellum, and I'm not sure where that is either. So I'm just going to cut these little pieces off that are on the edges and, add that leaf that I told you about that fell underneath, because I wanted it in there kind of to draw your eye down the page at an angle. And here we're all done. So here's a close-up of this page, and like I said, the In Full Bloom papers did all the work for me. Here's how you can catch up with me on social media. If you haven't become a part of this channel as a subscriber, you have that opportunity now. Here's another video you may be interested in, and I hope you have a very blessed day. Thank you.